Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our weekly news conference now in December with the NCAA FCS postseason news conference. Of course, this Saturday, the Bears, the number 7 seed in the tournament, will host number 10, the University of Rhode Island, out of the Colonial Athletic Association. The Rams defeated Central Connecticut State 21-17 on Saturday. Kickoff this Saturday will be at 2 p.m. at Five Star Stadium. Of course, most of you, if not all of you, were here Saturday a week ago when the Bears earned a bye and the opportunity to host the first round game this week, and that was after winning the Southern Conference Football Championship with that 49-23 win over Furman. Following that win, the Bears claimed a bunch of Southern Conference postseason honors. Dwayne McGee was named the Offensive Player of the Year, Braden Manley the Defensive Player of the Year, Andrew Zock the Freshman Player of the Year, and head coach Mike Jacobs the Coach of the Year. Mercer led the league with 17 players earning postseason distinction. And just as a reminder, in the preseason prediction, the Bears were picked to finish 4th in the league and had 4 players recognized before the season started. Currently in the NCAA stats, the Bears are ranked number 1 nationally in third down percentage defense, defensive touchdowns, turnovers gained, passes intercepted, rushing defense, 2nd nationally in team tackles for loss. TJ Moore is number 1 still nationally with 7 interceptions. Miles Redding is tied for 2nd with 6. With that, we'll bring in Coach Mike Jacobs. Coach?
Good afternoon. Good to see everybody. Hope you guys all had a blessed and a great Thanksgiving break. I know the bye week and a little bit of downtime with our family was much needed on our end. Just kind of quickly recap the Furman game from a few weeks ago. Just couldn't be more proud to be a part of Mercer football in this university, and had a unique opportunity when we were at Notre Dame College to kind of be the first to do a bunch of things there. First time to be ranked, first time to win a conference championship, first time to win a playoff game. And so to be a part of Mercer's first conference title, Southern Conference title, since they've joined the league is something really special. I can't say enough about the work that our team has put in. Again, the buy-in for us and our staff since the day we got here, and then to see that culminate on the field for all those who helped bring Mercer football back. There's so many people that went into that, and just an unbelievable moment for our institution, and something that I'm really happy that our kids got to be a part of. Anytime you can finish it holding the trophy, and the fact that you got all your fans there was really, really special. As far as the game itself went, I thought we did a number of things good. We talked about just playing championship level football. I think that again, one of the great things that you see us continue to do is we continue to play high-end defense and take the ball away. We had another defensive touchdown caused by an Andrew Zock forced fumble. We had a few interceptions. I think we had 3 or 4 total. It's been a while since I've looked at the stat line, but we did a great job taking the ball away. We need to do a little bit better job protecting it. Fortunately, that day, nothing was a fatal flaw for us in terms of our turnovers. We did a great job running the football. We had over 500 yards of offense, I believe, over 200 yards rushing. I thought it was great. Ajante Dabbs had a huge day for us as we battled a little bit of injury in that wide receiver room, to see somebody else step up and make plays. And the amount of development that he's had from the moment we got here in January to what you saw with the roughly 180-yard performance on Saturday has truly been amazing. He's just bought in. He's worked really hard at his craft, and to see him make some big plays for us on a bunch of contested catches was really special. So proud of the way our kids played in all 3 phases. Got to clean up the turnovers, obviously, a little bit, but anytime you hold a team under 100 yards rushing, force them into a bunch of turnovers, and then you in turn rush the ball for over 200 yards and have 500 yards of offense. It's a really good, solid outing, and all that again culminated in the Southern Conference Championship. So we're excited to put that one away. We really enjoyed the bye week. It was much needed to rest, recoup, and recover a little bit. We did get work done though, as we roll into a big time game against a really good Rhode Island team. So with that, I'll open it up for any questions.
I know the FCS page awarded you guys the breakout team of the year. I mean, what's that feeling like? I mean, would you call this a breakout year? Was this just continued success from last year and the year before? What's really standing out to you?
Yeah, I think everything builds on it, right? I think that again, it goes back to our administration's want and willingness to give us the resources to first attract great football players, and then second, to kind of be ahead of the class in facilities and experience and that type of stuff. And then you have two coaches in Coach Lamb and Coach Cronick that build a solid foundation that we've been able to hopefully take to the next level and keep moving forward. We've essentially revamped the offensive roster. There's a bunch of carryover on defense, but those guys have bought into a new way of doing things, and we've had a bunch of success. So, anytime that the program's recognized and recognized on the national level, I think it's just a testament, and I think it's awesome for our kids because it really is all about their hard work.
And then for you as well, you're one of the 13 FCS coaches nationally nominated for Coach of the Year. What does that mean for you as well?
Yeah, I mean, personally, the awards are great, but like I said, listen, the only reason I'm standing here and the only reason we've had the success wherever we've been is because we have great players first and foremost, guys that are bought in, play and execute at a high level and do stuff off the field the right way. They make the entire thing go. And then I think we have the best staff in FCS football in terms of being great teachers, right? Like anybody can call plays and, they do those things, but you have to be able to teach. And I'm just blown away by how our staff has done that and how they've connected with our players for the buy-in that we've needed to see where we get. So that stuff's awesome, but it's because of those guys, the players and the assistant coaches.
Segueing that question, Coach, 17 players get postseason honors. I mean, what does that mean to you? You've been mentoring a lot of all-conference players
Sure.
in your career, but what does that mean to you to see something like that?
Yeah, I think it's just a testament. Again, it goes back to, and we've had the conversation, haven't we, guys, about, listen, the best teams often end up with the most individual accolades. And when they're committed to the team being successful, they see their stats tick up, they see the win column tick up, and ultimately this group has seen a championship now. So it's a culmination of a team effort. I think they'll all tell you the same thing. But I love for our kids, that's some of them it's a once in a lifetime thing, but to be recognized by your peers and really the other coaches as somebody who's a standout is a big deal.
What have you seen on film with Rhode Island? Obviously, they had a 1,000-yard back and a 1,000-yard receiver, good rushing defense. But what have you seen that's impressed you from this thing?
Yeah, I think they do a lot of the things that we do. They play really good defense. Coach Fleming's done a great job. I think he's been there 11 seasons now, and that's kind of where he's made his hay as a defensive coordinator. So they're really well coached. They have a good offensive line. They're able to run the football. They've played a couple different quarterbacks due to injury. The one young man, number 7's from Georgia. He can run the ball a little bit, so he had some +1 run game stuff. He's the one that's been out with an injury. And then they've gone the transfer route, the quarterback. The kid that played this past weekend, it's a Clemson transfer. So, they have playmakers on the outside. The running back, I think, went for 220 or something like that on Saturday. And they're physical at the line of scrimmage. So, we're at the point where there's 16 teams left. Everybody's kind of got the same recipe we do, and it goes back to the same thing. You have to win at the line of scrimmage in these contests, and you got to win the turnover battle. Like, those are the absolute must, and Rhode Island found a way to do that, beat a good Central Connecticut State team on Saturday.
Rhodey's also been in 6 of their 13 games decided by 7 points or fewer. You've kind of been in close games all season. What are some of the big keys for Saturday's game that you've been emphasizing your team, not only in the bye week, but ahead of this game on Saturday?
The biggest thing for us at nauseum for these guys is just our practice habits, right? Like, our habits have to exceed our goals as a program. And so showing up well rested and ready to go to work like this week and really have elite focus on what we're doing, because as the season goes on longer, you try to find moments where you can take some of the clanging and banging off of them as long as they're dialed in mentally. But we got a team that's chomping at the bit. They're ready to play. And, I mentioned, I think last time, is just anytime you're in close contest or you overcome adversity, whether it's in a season, whether it's in an individual play or a game, right, you develop callous. You can do it. There's an understanding of what it takes to overcome it, and then there's the understanding that can be achieved through these kind of things. And so I think both teams have shown that. They've been in a bunch of close games, and they found ways to win 11 of them. So really good football team. One of their losses is to Minnesota, and so other than that, the other one I think is to Delaware, who's going up to the FBS level. So obviously a big-time opponent.
Are you seeing the refreshed look on your players' faces after last week? Are you seeing a little bit more?
Yeah, I think they saw it on mine, right? Like, the players, the coaches, everybody needed a little bit of a break last week. I like to cook Thanksgiving dinner, so it was good to be able to spend a little bit of time with our families. I think that mental reset for our guys as well as the physical, we as coaches can't be afraid to give them what they need. And 12 games in, we need a little bit of time off to recover, to recoup. So when we get back to it, and I thought we were as good yesterday at practice that we've been, really since the start of the season. We had great pace to what we were doing. They had good intensity and urgency. And, I expect nothing less of a great week of practice from our guys.
Do you see that guys in sweats on the sideline fishing?
Everybody's in sweats because I thought it was cold down here. But, the playoffs are the magic healer, right? There's more guys taking reps that have been out for a while. So it's good to see them get healthy and recover a little bit.
What's the game plan with DJ and Witt for this week?
Yeah, Witt will continue to be the starter. He's done a great job. He's proven to make big plays. In the pass game for us. He showed remarkable command, and again, that's nothing that DJ hasn't done. It's just been a matter of, maybe he pushed himself to get back a little too early. I want to make sure he's fully healthy before we take a look at it. Now, he's significantly improved, but yeah, we expect Witt to be the starter.
Any kind of playing of DJ at all, or?
No, right now Witt's the starter.
Okay.
What was your favorite moment from that Sunday game? Was there a moment that you kind of felt it a little more that you were going to take the conference title? Or?
Yeah, I think once you got about halfway through that third quarter and you're up 3, almost 4 scores and you keep making a couple big plays. I thought Dwayne McGee's touchdown run was a really big play for us. I thought Dabb's catch early in the fourth quarter was a big play for us. And then, I think, we were able to get I think the cool thing was we also got a bunch of kids in. There's a lot of guys, every player on this roster has a role in what we've been able to accomplish, and some are greater on game day than others, but to get those guys some game experience, to let them play a little bit, to have some fun was a big deal for our program, and good to see our older guys excited for them getting that opportunity on Saturday.
And speaking of fun with your team chemistry, you never seen your sideline more excited than when Billy Martin was going off in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Billy Martin, man. Like, listen, again, classic case of a kid that really practices his butt off for us. And, our guys see it sometime in practice. Like, he can run a little bit, and he does a nice job running the football. So to see him get in there on a play and score a touchdown was awesome.
Anything else, Coach Jenkins?
Oh, were you watching the Rhodey game Saturday, or were you watching that great game at the Shoe in Ohio?
Great is an understatement. I appreciate you asking, but I was my sole focus was on the Rhode Island and Central Connecticut State game. I saw the last 2 minutes of the Ohio State game, and it was plenty long enough to get my blood pressure up. So I've solely focused on the other.
Just making sure.
Yeah. Thanks for rubbing it in.
Want to close on that, Coach?
Yeah, sure. It's all good.
All right, let's go to the offense and defensive side of the ball. Let's go with the offense first. Ajante Dabbs against Furman, as Coach said, 8 catches, 181 yards, 2 touchdowns, redshirt freshman out of Greenville, Tennessee. If you would, give us a little opening statement, how you felt like the season has gone, how excited you are to be in the playoffs this week.
I think the season has gone great. We just keep, like Coach Jacobs emphasizes every day, just keep stacking days, just keep getting better every day, just keep going. He said early in the year that if we win, we buy in and we listen to what he says and we go hard every day, that the awards was going to come and the awards did come, and we got the championship, so I think everything's going good that way. In the playoffs, in the scheme of things, first time getting a bye, so we're happy about that. Got a lot of rest and got a lot of people back. Braden, DJ coming back off a little bit injuries. Braden Manley been hurt a little bit, so there are a lot of people coming back from injuries. So we'll be good in the playoffs and ready to go this coming up week.
To have that big of a game, a rivalry game, a chance to clinch a championship, how did you feel about that in that moment, just having that big of a game?
I was just happy to just be out there and just make plays. I've been practicing my butt off since June almost, since spring. So just getting a chance to make the plays with Witt gave me the opportunities, and Coach Soto and Coach Fay believing in me. So just happy and grateful to be out there to make plays.
John, you may have replayed this once or twice. We talked about the Dodger catch in the end zone. Talk us through that play. What did you see, and the end result?
We actually were in that play a couple of times in practice, and I didn't get the ball, so I didn't even think it was going to come to me. But then when the safety switched almost and went too high, I knew I was going to have to split. And I saw the ball in the air, and I know it was going to be in the end zone, so I just had to hang on to it, just couldn't let it go. So, yeah, that's what I was thinking in that play.
I know Coach talked about you saying you bought in, you've grown a lot as a player. In what ways is it? What does it take for you to get to that next level?
I mean, just keep stacking days every day. I mean, my receiver coach, Coach Fig, he helps me a lot. I mean, he never lets me like belittle myself or like be grateful. Or what's the word? He always wants me to get better. He never let me like be. I can't think of the word right now, but he always wants me to get better every day. So I'm happy for Coach Fig. He a big reason of what I'm doing right now.
What are your personal goals now heading into the playoffs?
Personal goals.
Maybe something you haven't done this season yet.
I don't really put a lot of personal goals into it. We just want to win, you know, whatever I can do to win, special teams, offense, blocking, whatever we can do to win the game and keep going on. We got to win 4 games, so we're going to do.
Sideline seemed pretty hype when you made that play. What was the conversation like after the game between you and the guys?
I mean, they were just happy for me. They knew I could make plays all year. I had a couple plays versus Stanford, a touchdown versus Stanford that called back, and they was hyped for me then. They were sad that got called back, so they were just happy to see me finally get my touchdown and get my first one of my career. So, yeah.
Being a freshman and all, I mean, what's that like being in a receiver room that's got a lot of veterans in it and a lot of people that are just experienced? What are some biggest things you've learned?
Yeah, guys like Keelan Parsons, Parker Rowe, but they talk to us a lot before the game, just tell us, it's like, let our nerves just go in, just play, it's just football, you know. Before that Alabama game, Keelan came up to me, he was like, at the end of the day, we're just playing football, you've been doing this since you was a kid, so it's just things like that. They just keep giving us big words of encouragement to help us keep going on.
How much were you with the team, last year for the playoff game? I mean, what's it going to be like for you to actually get to, play this year?
Last year, we had 2 great receivers. You guys know Devron Harper, Todd James last year, so I got to see them every single day. So this year, just hopefully I can go out there and make plays like I did last week or 2 weeks ago and just keep on building on and helping us win. I've had 2 great examples and great leaders while I've been here, so I've just been trying to keep following in the roles.
Anything else? Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Well, let's go to the veteran, the redshirt senior linebacker out of Waycross, Ken Stanley, currently the Mercer career leader in tackles with 371. I say currently because we do have another game. He and Dowling have a pretty good battle going, but Ken's got 371 career tackles. Ken, you know how to do this. You take it from there.
To kind of sum up this past week and a half, a great team win against Furman. Felt like we were clicking on all cylinders in all 3 phases, making plays, big plays in the special teams game. Defensively, I feel like we met a lot of our goals, and I say this week in and week out, we just aim at stopping the run game. You know, when you make a team one-dimensional, it's kind of hard to beat a defense that plays with the intensity that we play with. So just all around, just great team win. Even bigger win because it was a championship game. Great for the university, great for the program. Just all around, just a great game, great day.
After 6 years being here again, and you just see like you get to hold up that trophy for the first time. What do you feel in that moment? Hold it up for the first time.
I mean, initially I was like, it's been a long time coming. You know, you just get to see all your work just finally pay off. Like everything you're not doing it in vain, so to speak. I mean, it was just great, and it's great to see some of the younger guys get to experience it. I mean, like when I was in their shoes, it was like, man, we're never gonna get there, but we finally got there this year. Like Coach said, it's been a great foundation laid prior, and even greater buy-in this year. So that just helped propel us even more to reaching our goals.
Ken, what have you had for breakfast past 3 games? 31 tackles last 3 games, and what's changed in your routine, and is that all of a sudden something fire you up a little bit now?
No, I've been going to the calf every. We've been having breakfast check. I've been going to the calf every morning. I switch it up and get a little Chick-fil-A or Einstein's too.
We asked Isaac a couple weeks ago. You guys talk about that at all?
He mentioned it to me. It might have been after the last game. He's like, I think he caught me. I think because he had been leading the whole season. Like, I think you caught me. But it's always been like friendly competition. We never let it get in the way of how we play. We always build each other up. If he had it, I'd be just as happy for him as he is for me.
What does it mean to you? We asked Isaac this too. You guys are the only 2 players in Mercer history with over 350 tackles. I mean, what does that mean to you?
I mean, it's really just a testament of how hard we worked and how hard we prepared, not only in the season but in the off season. And I think I said this before. He's been like a great motivator in my game. I'm like, seeing him and his success motivated me to do better, and it'd probably be vice versa. It's a great accomplishment though, especially when someone's so close to you.
I know you guys talk a lot about stopping the run, making them one-dimensional, but when you're going against a running back who's as good as the guy that Brody has, what are some of the smaller things that you guys talk about, not only in your position, on the defense as well?
I mean, like you said, like the big vision is stopping the run, but it's a lot of small things that go into it, like tackling. And tackling has been a focal point, especially these last few weeks. It's been something that we've been striving to get better at. And when you make tackles, game tackling, getting all 11 hats to the ball, that makes it easier because that allows the first person, to take their shot and not be scared or choke their motor. And that'll make the ball carrier in turn make a move or alter his initial pass. So game tackling has been a strong focal point for us. And just like Coach also said, winning the line of scrimmage is going to take a very physical effort, and I think our D-line is plenty capable in doing so, and they have been a lot of reason for our success as well.
You guys got a third linebacker that's pretty good. So we talk about what Marquez means to this team and what he means in that linebacker room too.
Oh, Quez is a great player. He means a lot to this team and a lot to that room. Just all around, flying to the ball, making tackles. I know sometimes his work may get shadowed, or slighted, but that's not the case. He's definitely all conference caliber type of player. So his work, well, for me in our room and especially in this whole building, his work doesn't go unnoticed.
You want to peak going into the playoffs, so you feel like you're playing your best football right now?
Yeah, I think we're playing some pretty good football, and I think this break has just given us a little recharge, But I think we're kind of clicking on all cylinders. We're kind of figuring it out, figuring out what it's going to take to win a playoff game. And throughout the season, we've been in those playoff type of games, playoff atmosphere, close games, and just trying to gutting it out, figuring out ways to win, because it's not always going to be pretty, and we know that. So we take that into account, just figuring out how to win close games.
Anything else for Ken? All right, second round of the playoffs, 2 p.m. Saturday here at Five Star Stadium. All right, we've got women's basketball, men's basketball as well. Let's go next to Coach Michelle Clark-Hurd. They've been on the road the last 3 games, coming off a win over Bethune-Cookman on Saturday. This week, they'll be playing Charlotte. We've got 2 education days, 2 11 o'clock games. They'll be playing on Thursday against Charlotte, and again home on Sunday against Georgia Tech. Coach?
All right, how's everybody today? Good. Well, we're just excited to have the opportunity to be back at home. Like you said, we've been on the road and just really working to try to grow as a team. Excited about how we're growing and how our team is continuing to keep fighting. We all knew as a staff that, there would be some ups and downs and that we would just keep growing and try to basically every single game just set goals for where the things we were trying to accomplish. Some of the great things is, we were able to put, score 70 points. I think we've been doing a great job defensively and doing a lot of different things. But, again, I think just continuing to talk to them about getting the repetition in and the reps so they can feel very confident and putting the ball in the hole. And anytime you can go on the road and get a road win is always a great thing. So I'm just proud of our progression and where we're going, and just look forward to just keep building with this amazing group of young ladies. So I'll open it up for questions.
Coach, I know the first time we talked, you mentioned that like you thought everybody was going to have to step up. It wasn't just one player. How would you say that's going so far? It seems like every night it's like there's someone else stepping up, having a big game for you guys. And what does that mean in terms of the team dynamics?
No, I think it says a lot for, the staff. The staff does a great job of working with the players to make sure that they're ready when their number's called. I think that it also says a lot for the student athlete, and understanding, knowing that, I think the biggest thing for me as a coach, what I want to continue to do is keep teaching them, how to grow, not only as basketball players, but as individuals, right? And sometimes things don't always go the way that you want them. You might want more playing time, might want all of these things, but, wanting them to continue to learn how to work for those things. And I think we've done a great job of putting them in that position where we can bounce back and do the things that we need to, because the greatest thing about basketball is, the season is a long season, and we have an opportunity to keep growing every single game and every single day.
I think the biggest thing I've noticed so far about the team is just, I think we talked about it in a different press conference, it's just shooting the ball. That's one of the things you guys have fought really hard in a lot of games, but it's kind of been bouncing between wins and losses.
Yep.
Shooting is just where it is right now. So what do you try to do as a coach to improve on that? And then what are you most confident in on the other side of the ball that's keeping you guys kind of balanced?
Yeah. I think that's a great question. I think the biggest thing you can do as a coach is continue to build their confidence and keep telling them to shoot the basketball. We talk about great shots in the understanding time and score. We try to make sure that we can get some offense off the other side of the ball and scoring in transition off of our defense. And I think it showed a lot in our last game at Bethune. We was able to, get some fast break points and do a lot of different things. And we finally hit some threes. So we're going to try to carry them over. So, so I think at the end of the day, as a coach, you understand and know that sometimes the ball don't go in the hole. I know eventually it will, and I think they do too. So I think that's the most important thing, is to continue to get shots up, us continuing to put them in a position to get the open shots. We've been getting a ton of open shots, and that's what we just talked to them about, just having that confidence when they shoot it.
Just about a month left before the conference season starts. What are some of the big goals that you're emphasizing for your team?
Yeah, I think we just got to grow every single day. We got to take every situation and we got to learn from it. And I think that's why I'm the most proud of how we bounced back from Jacksonville to go on the road and win at Bethune, because you have to learn from sometimes you can learn more from a loss than a win, which you hate to go through losses, right? But that's the game of basketball, as sports in general. So I think the biggest thing for us is we got to continue to keep getting better, as we just talked about. We got to be able to put some points on the board. But I think the most important thing is we got to continue to keep getting better and better defensively and rebounding. And at the end of the day, continue to keep playing hard, because we're playing hard and we're competing. The moments where things happen is, we're trying to teach them that, to continue to keep playing even when the ball's not going in and everything's not falling your way, right? And I know that it will eventually continue to catch up where we can put all those things together. So for this next month, it's for us to grind it out, right, and get better and better, so we can be in a position where they're confident when we hit conference.
Okay, anything else, Coach Carter? All right, thank you, Coach.
Uh-huh.
All right, she has brought with her today Nahawa Digara, a senior from Barcelona, Spain. She's coming off of a game, 16 points, 5 assists against Bethune-Cookman. If you would, give us an opening statement, how the season's going, how you're glad to be here at Mercer, and what's ahead for us.
Yeah, so that's my first year in Mercer, and I'm really excited to be here. That's a new program for me. I've never been in a program like that, and it's just exciting to be coached by Coach Hurt. And last games, we just trying to do our best, just playing hard, fix the little mistakes, and just do our best.
You said you haven't seen a program like Mercer before. What initially attracted you to coming here and continuing your playing career?
So for my last year, I was thinking about one program that I can feel familiar and I can feel very, like, they trust in me. and that's how I feel right now, and I feel confident of myself, so I can really play the game.
And then, having a good game, I know we talked about it, you're coming up with a lot of new players, what does that mean to just kind of have a big game and work alongside a lot of new players?
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, so I know there's a lot of different players in this program transferring in, I'm sure it's a different play. It seems like it's a different player every game that's stepping up. I mean, what was that like to have a big game on the last couple of days, just traveling and going on the road and having a big game?
It's hard because you're on the road. We've been on the road for 2 weeks and everybody's tired, but we always there. It's like every day somebody to step up and say, that's my game. So we don't have to depend on one person. If you don't have your day, somebody's gonna step up and they're gonna help the team to keep going.
And what would you say is the biggest difference between like European basketball, your preparatory career, just coming here to the States and playing basketball?
I will say here is more aggressive, I would say, and it's much more individual game. So you have to have your personal skills and try to score and all this stuff, and maybe play more. Here we play more defense.
And it seems like this team is very defensively minded.
Yeah.
You learned a lot of just on your coach Hurd's leadership and, just getting that defensive aggression.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your favorite moment of the season so far? Was it that big game or was something else really stick out for you?
So I would say the last game because I made 16 points and so far it's like the best game for me. So.
Do you feel like you were finally getting more comfortable because it was your best game, or how do you feel like you're adjusting?
Yeah, so every day I try to do my best. I try to get to the gym and shoot and extend my game. So that's why I feel like now I'm more open to shoot and drive and do wherever. So it's more hard to play defense on me.
How do you think the team is handling adversity right now?
So I think we're doing a great job. Every time we lose, we try to get there next day in practice and try to fix the little mistakes so next game we can be ready to go.
You've been on the road a lot, you mentioned that. How much are you looking forward to being back home this week for another game?
Actually, I'm excited to be back home. I really need it. And yeah, I'm just excited to have another opportunity and play in front of our crowd and just be ready to win that games.
Okay, anything else for the Hall? All right, thank you, ladies. Appreciate it. Again, their game now, 11 o'clock on Thursday, so it's an education day, one of 2 back-to-back. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to men's basketball. Head coach Ryan Ritter. They're coming off a trip to Fort Myers. Played in the tip-off tournament Monday and Tuesday. They'll be at home Wednesday morning at 11 o'clock against West Georgia. And then Sunday on the road down at Stetson, part of the SoCon versus the ASUN Challenge. Coach Ritter.
All right, good to see everyone. I think last Monday we weren't here. Obviously, we were down in Fort Myers. So I think the last time we were here, we were getting ready to prepare for South Carolina. And you sit here. I think today's December 2nd, and you said, "Hey, how do you feel about your year? How do you feel about the team?" I think collectively we feel like from opening night till December 2nd, this group has gotten consistently better. And 10 days ago, or I guess it was 2 weeks ago. Hey, what were we lacking? And I think I mentioned, I said I think we had some physical toughness that we just weren't displaying that I thought we could find. And I think if you watch the game against South Carolina, with about 5 minutes to go, it's a 1-possession game, and we've got a chance to win that thing. Obviously, Mod fouls out, and they kind of extend the lead towards the end. But I think we found something that game that we can create an identity from, and that was purely a defensive-minded, physical toughness, togetherness on that side of the floor that I think carried into Fort Myers. And, I hadn't played in a lot of multi-team events where they actually crown a champion, and I thought it was really good for our guys to compete for a championship. Played a really good Jacksonville team, top 150 team in the country, down 16 in the second half, and found a way to get that thing done in overtime. A lot of teams early on in the year just not finding a way to win those games, and big reason is the guy sitting right here to my right, but found a way to win one, and then having to come back after 45 minutes overtime game, compete with a very good veteran-laden Miami of Ohio team, a very SoCon-like game. Unfortunately, didn't find a way to get that one done, but in the process, I think we're getting closer to where we want to be come January. And so last week it was funny. I was just telling Coach this. it's pretty cool listening to you guys. You got, I guess, what is it, 300 tackle guys on the team? Is that right for football? 300. Okay, so on Monday, last Monday, Tuesday, we're preparing for South Carolina. I say, hey guys, we got to find some physical toughness. We got to find it in there, and so we're trying to figure out what do we want to do. This is what we're going to do. We're going to go to our 18-year-old freshmen to just bring us that physical toughness at the SEC. And I said, Brady, listen, I don't care if you get 1 foul, 2 fouls, but first possession of the game, legally, when this dude comes, you're going to guard Nick Pringle. He's 6'10", he's 225, 240, whatever he is. When he comes at me, you're going to just kick him. And so he doesn't have 300 tackles, but Coach, he has one official tackle to his name, opening possession of South Carolina. He took it to heart. Now again, he got a foul. We ended up competing, but I thought it was important for our guys that we really did. We had a freshman set the tone for us, what it should look like going forward. And obviously, we'll talk to Brady here in a minute, but I thought he had a tremendous tournament down in Fort Myers, and to be honest, man, I'm excited. Obviously, we'd like to have a couple more wins on the board, but I think we're getting closer to a rotation, getting closer to finding out what we can really be come here a month, 2 months, 3 months from now.
Coach, I know KenPom only means so much, but your tempo numbers are looking pretty good. Obviously, having come back against Jacksonville, how would you say that you guys established tempo in that game and trying to come back?
You got to give our guys credit. They're very good defensively. Obviously, just being Virginia Tech the week before, they're riding high. They're playing good basketball, but they're very demonstrative. They want to turn you over. They're aggressive, and we thought if the first half we could handle it, allow us to make adjustments in the second half. And don't want to be down 10 at halftime, but we knew our second half was going to be better. They're very pressure oriented. We thought we could pick some things apart in the second half and give our guys credit. We talk about blind trust. You got to walk in that locker room. Hadn't won a lot of games together yet, but to believe in the message that we were giving them, hey, it's going to be fine. Here's how we're going to combat that in the second half. And I thought our guys, really made some adjustments. I thought we stopped turning the ball over. I thought we had some guys make some big shots, and that was a good momentum building win for us. That second half locker room.
And I know you mentioned just having to play for a championship. I know it's a 4-team MTE, but as a coach, what does that mean for your guys? I know you kind of mentioned it, but just can you touch a little bit more on that? Just having a chance to get a trophy this year.
Yeah, I think it's important because at the end of the day, our job is to be playing our best basketball for those 3 games in Asheville, and it wasn't exactly like it. Obviously, it's an early season, November, Fort Myers, MTE, but you had to go find it. You had a grueling win the night before. You play 45 minutes against a top 150 team. Then you're going to come back tomorrow and play another team that's very SoCon, like their offensive base. They can score the ball, they can shoot it, and ultimately in November we're not good enough to play 3 in a row right now at our best level. Give them credit, but I thought it was great consequences for our guys. We had a chance to hold a trophy. That's important. I don't care if we're playing Legos or we're playing Fort Myers MTE or we're playing SoCon Championship. We had to go sit in that locker room and listen to them celebrate. And if that doesn't kind of get you fired up a little bit, then I don't know why you put on the jersey and go try to win championships. So I thought it was great learning. Obviously, you'd like to learn from a win, and we were plenty capable. But I've been proud of our response since then. 3 days of practice now.
Absolutely. And then looking ahead now, the SoCon ASUN Challenge, 2 games next week. What are you seeing out of those guys? And what are you seeing out of the teams as well?
Yeah, I think you're going to see quality basketball games. West Georgia is a team that's transitioning, and obviously they're off to a tough start. And you dig into their win-loss record, play some tough games. Again, do I think they're I think they're 0-8 right now. Do I think they're indicative of the record? No, I don't think they're an 0-8 ball club. I think they've had a rough stretch of games to start. But that's a game at home. We've got to prepare. We've got to protect our home court, challenge our guys. We don't want to lose on that court all year. And Wednesday morning we're going to have a great opportunity to do that.
We already talked about the consequences of that tournament, how it's important for you guys to play without one. You kind of got into the nitty-gritty of it, but just an overtime win.
Yeah.
How cool is that to get? It's a quality program.
Well, let's go back to the regulation because I thought it was really cool. Obviously, we're down 3. We had to make some big-time plays, but we're down 3. Our point guard has the ball. He scored a lot of points, made a lot of plays for us. But they put 2 on the ball, and he trusts instead of just throwing up some hope, some prayer, he swings it to Cam Bryant, who has a decent look. But all of a sudden, he won more to the guy in the corner, who we know is a tremendous shooter. He hadn't been off to a great start because of the minutes have been odd. One of 8 going into the tournament or something. But everybody in our program knew when that thing went to the corner, boom, wide open three for Brady Shoulder, sign me up for the rest of the year. Wide open three, we know that's going in, and then, you know, ball goes in, you still got to get back, you got to find a way to get stopped with 5 seconds to go to carry that into overtime. I think it was big for our group just to show trust. You know, we don't panic under down 16 in the second half. We don't panic. We're down 12 against Miami of Ohio in the second half. We got a chance to tie it up with a minute to go. So I think there's some maturity with our group. We just got to fine tune both sides of the ball a little bit. We're close. Yep.
Anything else, Coach Ritter? All right, thanks, Coach. All right, we're going to bring in about a week ago today, a couple hours later, and like Coach said, 10 seconds and winding down, and a couple of passes, and Coach is big on trust, and he's got the radio announcer convinced now this guy can hit a three in the corner with 4 seconds to go to send it to overtime. Brady Shoulder. Brady?
You know, like Coach Ritter was saying, we're coming off a very productive week in Jacksonville, and I think that obviously us as players are starting to trust the process since we've been working on since we got here in June. I know the defensive end, that's been our struggle a little bit, but we're really buying into the really trusting one another, like selling out to and trusting that, hey, the player behind you's got each other's back, and you know that the shots are going to fall no matter what. You just got to keep shooting it and stuff like that. It's really, really going a long ways.
In your first month or so of college basketball, you're coming from Kentucky, you've done a lot in your high school career. What's some of the biggest things that you've learned in your first month of playing Division I level?
The speed of it's really the change of it, but I think I'm really starting to get used to it and really like leaning on Ahmad and Cam and Chip and dudes like that. Like they've been playing 4 or 5 years in college basketball, so they know the tempo and what I'm really trying to see what they're doing and really trying to be like a student to their basketball IQ, and it's really helping me go a long ways right now.
And then I know we've talked about it a lot, but just the shot, you know, how is it feeling coming off your hands? How are you feeling in that moment to just like have the ball in your hands and just take a shot?
That's just a big trust in my coaches and the players. You know, obviously, like Coach Ritter was saying, I was 1 for 8 going into that tournament. So as soon as he swung it to me, I know it was going up. So there was no choice but to shoot it. And I know that he says when he's going in the locker room, there's no bigger cheerleader than the coaching staff that day. So obviously, every shot you shoot, you got to know it's going in. And obviously, that it just worked out that it went in. Hopefully.
You ever practice that shot? Just, you know, buzzer in your head, you know, go in the corner, ever do it as a kid or something like that?
For sure, definitely. When I was a kid, I got a goal in my driveway. So I mean, obviously, when you're a kid growing up, like 3, 2, 1, I mean, you're shooting it, especially when cars are driving by. That's a big thing, you know. You like drive by, shoot a fadeaway, like you win the national championship. So it's kind of what kids dream of doing. It was pretty cool.
You talked a lot about how you're learning from the other guys, but you're also all leaning on each other. You know, how much more do you want to build that bond before the conference play starts? And, you know, what are you guys' goals as a team kind of going into the next few games?
Like I said earlier, we're really buying into the coaching, and like the trust is a big part. When we go in the locker room without the coaches in there, we're talking to each other, and we're just really realizing that they know what they're talking about, and that the defense is really going to pay off in the end. And we know that's going to be our bread and butter in the end. Is our toughness is going to bring us to a championship in Asheville in March, and I think the players really see that, and it's really the Chip and Ahmad are really emphasizing that when the coaches aren't in there. To really, we got blind trust is a big thing when we go into the 4-minute increments in the games, and that's really what we're trying to focus on.
Brady, any nerves making your first career start at South Carolina, and then hear from a lot of people just about talking about how hard you play and the toughness you bring. Where does that come from? Have you always just kind of brought like the toughness and playing hard like since you're little, or have any coaches kind of instilled that into you? Like talk about that.
I think that's just a big winning part. You know, it don't matter if the stats, anything, if you don't come out with the win. I played behind a pretty good kid in high school, and you know, you really had to find your niche and what you had to do. So I realized rebounding and defense was going to get me on the court, and obviously, if you come out with a win, I'm going to be happy no matter what. And if we're not winning, nobody's going to be happy. So you just got to find a way to win, and I think that's really a big part in what I do on the court and off the court.
How do you think this team has handled adversity so far? I know you spoke a little bit about it, but, you know, just obviously there's ups and downs in learning process with the team, but you don't have anything kind of to compare this to. So what's your thought process on that?
Right, we know that it was going to be a tough season. I mean, this is the first time we played together, all of the staff and the players. So we knew that we really just had to trust each other in the process, and we know there's going to be ups and downs in the season, no matter what. And we just really got to trust each other, because it's not the refs, not the other team. It's the 14 players in that huddle that's really going to bring us together, and it's really what matters. Who's going to be driving back to make it in the end. So we really just put our heads down, practice every day, come to work on what's going to get us to the win, and we know that that's what we got to do.
You doing anything off the court that's helping on the court?
Probably like we try to go eat with each other. Like we know that, like, and we try to like the treatment and stuff like that. But really trusting each other and going to eat, like big part, like doing stuff as a family. Like we went to Coach Ritter's house November 4th to watch basketball. Like just growing with each other is a big part of what we do.
Anything else for Brady? By the way, after he hit the three to send us to overtime, he hit another one in the overtime, so that wasn't the only one he hit that day. All right, real quick before we let you go, we talked a lot of football, men's and women's basketball, but just know our volleyball team has had an excellent season. They are playing in the National Invitational Volleyball Championship. They'll be playing UConn Thursday in round 1 at 3 p.m. All right, thanks for being here today. Media, please feel to eat free early.